A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today again, with the mercy of our Lord, and very, I think it's very important. All issues are important. What we, the lack of some of the awareness that we have within the community. And so today's topic again is, I feel anyway personally, and you have to let me know please when you comment and when you like, or whether you like it. I hope you like. I'm going to try to address the younger population, the young brothers and sisters of today's generation, if you like. I will, inshallah, I will address the elder population as well in a different video, but today I'm going to try to concentrate on the younger generation, like I said. And it's there are two. I'm going to touch on one of the topics just briefly, but if people want me to explore more on it, and then in a different video, then I will address that. But mainly, I'm going to talk about how one behaves in his house, how the young brothers and sisters are intellectualing with their parents, their elders within the family, how they are demonstrating the values and where the focus is today of today's generation. So let's first of all, I just want to share the Qurani ayah, respectable brother from Makkah Masjid. Let's see his a short point of view on the how Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, when he was given the task from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to go and convey the message of his lordship and the oneness of the lordship to Pharaoh. What were the concerns of Musa alayhi salam, the concern that he shared, and then what he did immediately after the sharing the concerns. So I'm just gonna share that clip with you, and then we'll come back and elaborate more on the topic. So let's watch it out.
He directed Musa alayhi salam to go to the people who were zalim. You know, it's Anitil qawm al-zalimin, qawm fir'aun, ala yattaqoon. So here Allah says they went to the people who were doing zulm. And zulm, we mentioned many times, zulm simply means misappropriation. In other words, there's something is deserving and you take that away. You misappropriate, you deprive that person from what they are deserving of, or what is theirs. You know, so obviously the Pharaoh at that time was doing zulm on his community, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on his people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that and the purpose is that they will not, because they are so far away from the truth. Allah says, Allah yattaqoon, that you go there and you warn them and you ask them, you remind them that they need to become pious. Allah yattaqoon, simply translating as that they need to, it's a rhetorical question saying that will you not become pious? But simply that, so it means go as a reminder, go and remind them. Now this is what Allah says to Musa alayhi salam. Now Musa alayhi salam doesn't say, okay, let's pack our bags and go to Pharaoh. Musa alayhi salam actually has a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, قَالَ رَبِّ إِنِّي أَخَافُ أَن يُكَذِّبُونَ. He says, oh my Lord, رَبِّ إِنِّي أَخَافُ, I fear, I'm concerned about something. And what's my fear, what's my concern? That they will treat me as a liar. إِن يُكَذِّبُونَ. Here, this again, how the language, Musa alayhi salam doesn't say, I'm actually going to take your message, Ya Allah, and they will disbelieve the message. Musa alayhi salam brings it closer to him. He says, Ya Allah, I fear that they will reject me. Again, so this is how we need to learn the language, how we phrase ourselves. You know, rather than saying that, Ya Allah, they will reject you, or they will reject your message. Say, no, bring it to himself. He says, Ya Allah, I fear, I'm concerned that they will reject me. You know, and then he explains, he gives, you know, 3 reasons why the people of Fir'aun may reject, may not believe in Musa alayhi salam. He says, firstly, وَيَضِيقُ صَدْرِي. The Ya Allah, the simple translation is, you know, Ya Allah, my breast, my chest is strained. You know, in other words, that we'll come on to that. Then the second thing he says, وَلَا يَنْقَلِقُ لِسَانِي. And also, my tongue isn't fluent. So firstly, my breast is restrained, you know, and secondly, as most importantly, that actually my tongue isn't fluent. So in other words, I'm not very fluent speak. I'm not very eloquent, you know, and as a result, you know, they're going to reject me. And فَأَرْسِلْ إِلَىٰ هَارُونَ. Before going on to the third reason, he immediately provides a solution. He says, although I've got these weaknesses, but I've actually got a solution. فَأَرْسِلْ إِلَىٰ هَارُونَ. But also send Harun with me. You know, Harun is Aaron is the brother of Musa alayhi salam.
Musa alayhi salam was given the task to go and see the Pharaoh and convey the message of Islam, convey the message of oneness of our Lord. But then Musa alayhi salam had concern, and then he shared his concern with the Almighty, and then immediately he said, he gave the resolution, and he said, send my brother Harun alayhi salam with me. And the solution, on this solution, I want to pick up and kind of bring it into the lives that we have, or the younger people, how we are living today. Or I think it's a concern anyway. And like I said, please share your comments and your thoughts if you liked it, or if you haven't, you know, whether I was wrong or the content of this video, whatever, you know. I mean, I'm only trying to raise what I see in the society, what I see in the community, what I see within the young people. So the solution, providing solutions, and as the professional life goes, just a piece of advice to all the young brothers and sisters, that when you go for an interview for any job, obviously whatever your profession is, and they're trying to see today, a lot of questions are based around your one's personal behavior, around behavior, how one behaves in difficult situations, how one behaves when he has to deal with conflicting deadlines, how one may behave when he comes up with faces a difficult individual, either face to face or on the phone. And one of the other things is the weakness. Do you have any weaknesses? And so what they want to see is, if you have a weakness, obviously we all have weaknesses, nobody's perfect, but what they want to see employers is, what do you do to overcome that weakness? And this is the important thing. What do you do? If you forget things, for example, if you can't manage your workload, if you're conflicting deadlines, then what do you do? This is this is what they want as a problem, and how do you resolve the issue? So can you offer solutions? This is what they want to come at. The main topic that I want to cover today is about how we deal with our parents, how we deal with our relationships with the loved ones, what we call the loved ones. These are the people, for me, they are the most important people in your life. They may be, and what I want to touch on is that they may be, because of the lack of resources when they were young, when they were going through the school, because they may have been brought up in a difficult situation, in a different environment, maybe because of the lack of education, the modern techniques of how they should deal with the children, how they speak with the children, how they give them respect, whether they give you respect or not. All these different things. I don't want to highlight every weakness, but I'm sure you you got the message anyway, what I'm trying to say. So the people, the older generation, if they're still living in their trench, you know, from whatever they brought with them from the Indian subcontinent countries, then how the ones we are educated here, that alhamdulillah we have the better environment, we have the education, we are graduates in different fields, we're in professions. How do we deal with the situations at home? How do we understand they have the emotions? They are, because of the way they've been brought up, they value their emotions rather than seeing things through the logic. Some people value the emotions, and they get very emotional with every little thing that they see or they absorb, and obviously they react upon because of a certain situation, or they think that something is happening. So, for example, when you are locked in your room and you're busy with your tablet or your phone or whatever, and your parents, you notice that your parents are outside. They may be going towards their bedroom or bathroom or whatever. So how many times have you called them in your room while you're in your room and you're busy in your, with your toy, I call them toys. How many times have you called them in to share that openness, to share that there's nothing that you are hiding, there's nothing that they need to be worried about. That trigger, the barrier that exists between the parents and the younger generation, if they are not doing if they not have these modern techniques of how to communicate and how to give the respect to their children, and they are living in that parent, the Asian style, father or mother, that I am the dad and oh, I'm the mother, and things will happen the way I wanted it, then how do you, as a educated person, as an intellectual person, how do you try to break that barrier? How do you, when you come home, how many times have you, if your mother is in the kitchen, for example, how many times have you gone to your mother and you hugged her? How many times have you come to home and you've gone to your mother and you're given a kiss? How many times you have gone to your dad? I mean, we're not going to talk about dads today, because dads that just come and go, and some of them are just do the day shifts and night shifts, and they just they pay the bills and that's fine. We don't want to we don't want to know dads. They're just like hardcore Asian type fathers, and they believe in themselves. They feel that they are in command. So mums. Well, I'll talk about the fathers in a different video, inshallah. But today in overall, that's what I'm trying to say. In overall, what do you do? We believe that we are better individuals today. We are educated. We know more, or we pretend that we know more than you, dad, or your mom. We know better than you, mom. But what do you do then? How do you show that you are aware of the issues? How do you manage the risks at home? We talk about managing the risks at work. How do you, because of the health and safety acts and whatever. But how do you manage? Do you have that? Where's your focus? Where's your focus? Today we're trying to always please somebody else, the rest of the world. We're trying to live as a stereotype. We're trying to match somebody else's culture. We're trying to match. We're worried about our hair. How does my hair look? How do I, the clothes that we wear? How do the wheels that we have? How do these are the important. These are the priorities. Fine, they are your priority. I'm not criticizing anybody, but you're also one of the other things that it should be on your priority is your parents, is your loved ones. These I say to my children that me and your mother are your best friends in this world, and you need to share your concerns and your whatever there is. You need to come to us and talk to us, and unless you do that, and obviously we're trying to create that environment where they feel that they can come to me, either to me or to their mother, and discuss things. But my question is that God has blessed you with a better environment. You are educated. You are, a better communicator. So how do you bring your parents? Have you tried to bring your parents together? How do you have you made any efforts to bring your to break that barrier that exists between you and your parents? What have you done? How do you, like I said, when you come home, what do you do? Do you say hello, assalamu alaikum to your parent? Do you go and hug them? Do you go and do you call them? Do you sit with them? When I was young, one of the things that we used to enjoy, and I personally used to enjoy, is that evenings, especially in winter evenings, when we used to sit under the blanket and eat mungpali, peanuts, and or roasted sort of nuts and whatever. But the elders used to sit around us, and they used to share stories, the stories of their childhood, the stories of there may be Islamic stories, or from their experiences and whatever, or the imaginative stories, the fairy tales and whatever. But those moments are not there now. So the parents maybe not, they don't have the stories to tell you, but I'm coming back, I'm going to come back to you again and again, to all these young brothers and sisters. What do you do to create that environment? What do you do? How do you help your parents? How do you make the efforts to create that environment where they can sit with you, and you talk about your work, the day you had at college or university or work, and just open up the conversation, just talk about something, and that brings what those moments did when I'm talking about my young age, that we came together. We were bounded together because of this openness, and because of this we ate at the same table and we sat. And one of the things that we used to have, and we don't have unfortunately now, is that eating time. And please try to eat all together, with your children. Wait for them, or you wait for your parents. Try to eat, the main meal that we have in the evening. If you need to reschedule yourself time, the eating. You need to change your habits, so you eat when you sit down to eat together, and then obviously you don't start talking about your daily life and how your day is gone when you're eating. I'm not suggesting that, but that brings the barakat as well. When you eat together, we are Muslim. Don't forget, we are Muslim, alhamdulillah. We don't value, I've said that in different videos as well. But we need to create those opportunities where we can sit as a family and enjoy the meal, where we can sit as a family and enjoy the conversation, when we can sit and enjoy the openness, and we can share the values that we have, or we should have, and our focus, we share to the parents, with parents, and with other uncles and aunties and whatever you may have. And this is, it's important that we realize that the ones we have, our parents, and when we don't. And this, you come to, you may not see the importance because they're there for you, with you, but once they're gone, this is the important point. Once they're gone, feel that, I should have done this, I should have perhaps spent more time with them, I should have discussed this with them, I should have opened up, I was the more, I should have made efforts to break the barrier, and I didn't do that, perhaps, and if you're living away from your parents, and then again, this is something that you need to think about. Once they're gone, there won't be anybody who's going to call you to come home for Eid or for Ramadan, or something's happening and we're organising a barbecue, come home for breaks or whatever. Again, going back to this focus, where's your focus? We're spending too much time on the social media, the updates. We sending texts. We feel obliged that we need to reply and we need to keep in touch with so and so and everything. But do we do that with our parents? Do we do that enough? That's the question. How much we do it? How much efforts do we make to keep in touch with our parents? I hope that this short video was beneficial and it's given you something to work on. And inshallah, I will keep pouring wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses me with different thoughts. I will keep coming back to you. And please, like I said earlier, guide me. I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to do my bit. And put in comments. Pause it. This video is not important. Pause it. Go. It's in the house. Go. Give her a hug. Say. And that phrase that advertising slogan, that because you're worth it, go tell them. Go tell them. You are worth it. And they're worth it. You will know when you become a mother. You will know when you become a dad. When you have your own children. And that mother goes through a lot of suffering and pains to have you. And then obviously once she has you, how she cared for you, how she kept you, how you kept her awake through the nights and all those nights, sleepless nights. Anyway, I hope you got the message. I don't want to stretch it too long. And please like it, subscribe, and let me know. Let me have your thoughts on it. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz.